You, we live, we live. All right, we live. We in the building. Let's go. Let's get it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait, like I usually do, even though it's not a live stream. It's a premiere. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give it a few minutes to just how it usually unfolds. I'm gonna let some people come in. It's meant to broadcast Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Who knows if I'm gonna change the time or whatever. But at the moment, that is the scheduled time. So let me give y'all 2 minutes to come in the building, and then we're gonna talk about what we're gonna dive into. Now, just like I always say, it's gonna be a lit show. You know what I mean? Everybody gonna like it. It's gonna have a lot of knowledge, a lot of information, a lot of things that we want to cover. What I like to do, just to get the show started, is I might even talk a little bit about. We got another minute left before I really dive in, but we might even dive into a little bit about the last show and what the last show was about because I thought that was critical. For those that watch that show from beginning to end, y'all know what's up. Y'all know what's up. And I know at this point your minds are starting to change, especially in the direction that it needs to go in, which is pushing the sole control on you. All right. You the controller, you the man in the driver's seat, you the man taking it from point A to point B. And that's where we going. And at this point, I'm gonna lay it out like this. Because I don't wanna mess around. I don't want to beat around the bush. I don't want to play no games. I need y'all to really see it as clear as day. All right. When it comes down to the mind science, and I know we about to spill in on that 2 minute mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive in. Ready? Three, two, one, here we go. Yo, when it comes down to the mind science, it's going to be, and then I see y'all see we got silence in the building, man. I needed to bring him in as a special guest. Hold on, hold up. I needed to bring him in as a special guest. Listen, let me go ahead and preface this so y'all know what's up. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna touch on a point and a topic that y'all really have not been opened up to, I would imagine. Because I would say that if you have, you probably wouldn't even be checking my channel right now. You'd be on a whole different page in life, whole different scheme of things, right? You probably wouldn't because where people are at in on my channel is I think they're at an awakening. You know what I mean? At a point in time in their life where they may have came to realization and thought that going from liberal to conservative was the only and necessary move to take you to that next step, that next level. Because even as a conservative, yeah, I stood over, not necessarily saying I was better than nobody, but in terms of where my mind was, I felt like I was doing my study and I was doing my investigating and what the birth control rates was and what I'm saying, how many abortions was going down and all this, that, and the third. I was on top of all the statistics, all of the things that eventually, once I developed the knowledge and information that I know now, I learned that my mind power was in control of that. So, regardless of what I learned to be the truth, what I could rely on, because it was more chances than the other. In this case, you know what I'm saying, whatever it might be, whether it be an 80% chance that this will happen in comparison to a 20% chance, that's more of the area that I would rely on. But at the end of the day, it was more based on what my mind could actually dictate and get me. So it didn't matter whether 80% of the people failed when they made the attempt, because at the end of the day, I was the 20%. I am the 20% that's going to prosper and succeed. So, what we're going to go into today is a topic and an area that at the end of the day, I don't mind if you look at me crazy. That might be okay because at the end of the day, maybe you listened from beginning to end and came to that conclusion. But that's not really where most people end up. When I reveal the information that Silence and I are about to dive into, it's not really a situation that we end up where people are looking at us like, bro, where they learn that at? It's going to be right up your alley. It's going to be something that you've been looking into, diving into for your whole life, but you've been trying to find a solution. But let me stop all the mysterioso, you know what I'm saying? And let me dive in. I'm gonna pull Silence in the building. We're gonna dive in, we're gonna get detailed. We only 4 minutes in. Y'all know, hold tight. I got a lot of bombs ready to drop. We got Silence in the building. Let me take them off mute. All right, Silence, you can say anything you need at this time for the people. What I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the bomb. I gave them a little preface just to get us going. And what it is listen, we're gonna dive in on God, how that's interpreted in mind science, and how the people should look at it overall. You know what I mean? Silence, do you wanna start it off, or you want to let me kind of get it going? How you want to do it?
You can go ahead.
All right. So he passed the mic to me. You know what it is. Hey, about to get it. Yo, so listen, it's like this, bro. I had a hard time really grounding myself with this concept and this thought because for a period in time, it didn't make sense until I actually thought about it and thought about it in depth, not just looking at it from the surface, because of course, a lot of people, this is not what you've been programmed to do and to think. All right, before we get it going, a lot of y'all have been programmed to think and do the opposite the way that I'm about to instruct and teach you. Why? Because the world has gotten a hold of your mind and things. All right. The world has gotten a hold of your mind. Where? On the news, on the television, in your church. Yes, in your church. From your mom Dukes that raised you and thought she was doing the best in her heart to get you to be a better man or better girl, individual, whatever you want to call it. All of that is what I want to bring to the light. Now, let's go ahead and get this going. Where is this all coming in from? Like, yo, CG, you all over the place. We in on the first 5 minutes, and you basically told me that you got what I need to get to the next to get to that next level. Yes, sir. I got what you need. Check me out. So I'm gonna put it like this: God is thought. What? Let me take a drink to that. I ain't drinking nothing serious, just a little bit of water. God is thought, and the Lord is the law by which thought operates. Hey, need y'all to think about that. All right, rewind it if you need. God is thought, and the Lord is the law by which thought operates. And let me break that down to you. All right. So that's giving it to you in its most deepest and depth form. And a lot of y'all kind of know and y'all rock with me. And y'all know when I get really deep and in depth, I like to bring it up to the surface for those that might understand from that surface side of things. So what it basically breaks down to is the thought, the actual ideas that come across your mind, the things that you tell yourself end up being God to you. All right. Now, now you kind of saying, well, then, like, who's God? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what's going on? God is thoughts. God. Let's get this straightened out. And Silence, I'm sure you could get off mute if you need, right? Oh, okay, you unmuted. So all right, you could come off on mute if you want. Because I'm gonna go ahead and preface this because I need people to look at the screen with the scrunch face. I need people to look at the screen with the you know what I'm saying, with the whole joint on tilt. They like, yo, what's happening? Listen, God is thought, all right? And what ends up being the case, and in this situation and how it works and operates, is whatever you command within you. Now, let's make this clear. The God is personalized within you, all right? You as an individual are your own God within your own experiences. It's not to say, I'm God, yo, hear me out. Listen, you need to pull up with my turkey and my protein shake, this, that, and the third. Make sure I got my gallon of water and treat me like fine royalty, this, that, and the third. No, 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 no. You are God of your own experiences, okay? Of your own experiences. So every experience you have with me, you are God in that situation. All right. You are in command and control with anything you want to be, have, and become based on your thoughts. thoughts. Okay, we already discussed in previous episodes how thoughts become things. How else does anything become things? It's thought. With that being said, with that being said, you have thoughts becoming things, right? You're calling that what power? What power? When airplanes didn't exist and someone stepped in that seat and said, I'm gonna create an airplane. What really brought the airplane into the physical? What brought it into the light? What brought it into a natural man's power? It's actually his thought. So you got to realize that what he thought about is actually what brought him there. Now you might say, okay, well, how could you break that down? You know, I got my man in the sky, and pause, pause. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you have a man in the sky, that's gonna be a little bit of an issue. I need y'all to look at the screen crazy because I need y'all to hear me out, right? When you're looking at the screen crazy, you're like, all right, I gotta see what this man is gonna say next because I trust CG. I know CG gonna keep it real. He gonna tell me what's what's needed to be listened to, whatever. And it's like this. In a lot of cases and situations, right? Most religions, this, that, and the third, what they end up doing is they put God as a third person. They take God out from man or from within and they place it elsewhere. They place him in the sky. They place him within a statue. They place him in a physical thing where once you know God to be, I don't know what's that going off like that. Let me close these unnecessary things out. Once you know God to be in the physical, which is outside of man, instantly, you're dealing with two gods. Why? Because there's one from within and now there's one on the outside. Now, if you responded to the one on the outside, you probably led down a path similar to what I'm about to describe to you. Man, I gotta take this call. Listen, wifey's been calling me 3 times. Silence, if you could come in and just talk a little bit. I got it. Let me see what hello? I'm on live right now. I'm on show live. Well,
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Well, let me
Okay.
finish
All right.
the show right at 2, and then I'll call him up. Oh, okay. I'll call that number. All right, bye. All right, cool. Nah, I mean, Silence. If you have something, you could throw it in. But if not, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna continue.
Yeah. Real quick, I'll just elaborate a little bit on the whole concept of man building the airplane. I mean, you clearly see that there's a difference between the power that a human has and the abilities that a human has versus every other living thing around them. And what I
Oh
mean by that
yeah,
is
yeah.
just what CG brought up, with the power of a human to create an airplane. A lot of times, I mean, you got to think about for hundreds of years, people never had the idea of flying in the sky. It was almost said to be like an uh, uh, left to the angels. That's in biblical, in biblical days, flying was left for the angels. So this wasn't something that somebody had in mind or even thought about putting into the physical. Now, the fact that a person accomplished that goal, we have to ask ourselves, how much power do we have? Because as we can see, the squirrels, they've been climbing up the trees. They haven't built any airplanes or any flying devices or anything like that that helps them get from tree to tree. They still have to climb down the tree, climb up the next one, and do things that way. So why is it that humans have this ability to take what's in their mind and put it into the physical? That has to be something of a divine spirit. That has to be something that makes most people I would call God. I would call God
Facts.
in that in that in
Facts.
that in that situation. Yeah.
So I like I like something you mentioned to me, I think a little bit ago when we was on the phone. And I thought this was real critical, when you look at what you just said and what I'm about to say, which is humans change things for the better, not necessarily for their living conditions and survival experiences, but more so for the comfort and leisure, right? So man, we're man, right? We can walk from I could walk from here to I'm out in Texas right now. I could walk from here to New York, right? I could walk from here to up top. We could hit Canada if we want. Then there, I could build a boat in Canada and then just ride it out to Antarctica if I need. But mind you, I'm still need that boat as an invention. But what I'm trying to say is the idea in mind that out of the wanting of comfort and leisure, mankind has the ability through his mind power to gain in an area where you might see something like an animal only utilize their ways of changing their experiences or what they're going through or how they're actually handling their life. They'll change that more based on a survival mechanism. So when they're meant to survive, when you see an animal that's meant to survive, he or she develops gills. Oh, I'm a fish creature, so I need gills. Boom, they develop gills. They're now living in the water. They could do this, that, and the third. Over time, you're talking about an evolution of things, how things kind of grow through an experience. Whereas mankind has kind of somewhat been the same since the jump, right? But over time, mankind has gotten things to become easier, but not necessarily changing his form and who he is. He's managed to come up with things with his mind to make things easier for him, such as the car, the airplane, this, that, and third, your microwave. You know what I'm saying? If you want to entertain yourself, break out your little Nintendo Switch, whatever it is. Mankind has gotten himself to develop this comfort and leisure based on these physical things that he can create. I don't know no dog and no squirrel that created anything that can necessarily say that now they live in a better and more happier life based on that. But what I can tell you that they do as an animal, they'll develop the necessary mechanisms to get them through a survival experience. Whereas when you look at mankind, we kind of go through survival experiences every day, right? Don't you push that whip to like 70 miles per hour when the speed limit is like 65? You're only doing 5 over. So you go through a period where you kind of on the edge, right? But you don't necessarily feel or think that you're gonna like lose your life. You know what I mean? You're gonna make it from point A to point B. So that's the idea in mind, is where can the mind really, really take mankind to, or animals, or whatever it decides to bring along with? Where can it go to? And the extremes are endless. The limits are endless. You know what I'm saying? Because when you talk about mankind hitting the moon, we did the airplane, we did the text message, all this, that, and the third. Everything is getting easier and easier. And it's coming up from ideas and ideas. What is bringing this to the light? I just told you. What is bringing this to the light? Like, what is when the man sat down and said, "All right, I'm ready to do the airplane. I'm ready. Let's get it." What was the first thing that hit this man's mind, bro? I mean, you could say God, but right after God, he came up with that idea that he's going to do what you see flying up in the sky every day when you look out your window, right? But it was an idea that made something become. So it applies the same way. It applies to feelings as well. If you apply, yo, if I feel sad, because remember, we say that I am is God. And if you say I am depressed, then that asks you, yo, what up? What's good? How you feeling? You're gonna be like, yo, I feel depressed. You know what I mean? Because that's what you are. Whatever you tell yourself is what you are and what you become. So the idea behind all of what we're trying to say, we're trying to get you to understand that the ideas in mind is what brought things about. Behind that is putting the knowledge and understanding behind God being the ideas. God is the ideas. That's the way that it works and operates. Remember, I gave y'all that little thing to write down a little earlier, where it gives you the understanding of how things need to flow. Now, you might now look and say, well, damn, I mean, what's going on with the guy in the sky? Who's the guy in the sky? Who's the guy when I pull up to the church? Who's the guy when I pull up to grandma's crib and she got the painting on the wall? Who's that guy? Well, it's like this. That guy, and Silence, dive in any way you need. That guy is gonna be the guy who how do we put this? As crazy as it sounds, right? You might think like, what's going on here? As crazy as it sounds, religions created a way of getting man to assume that man or God was outside of him. Now, what does that actually gain for another man? Now, let's say I'm the guy who is in power of that. I am the guy who said, yeah, man, follow my religion. And the guy in the sky, this is who we're going to look up to. This is where we're going to go. This is the direction we're going to look into if we need any help or anything occurs. Now, what that's actually doing is it's taking the power from you, the person who's now looking to the guy in the sky. It's taking the power from that person and putting it somewhere else. That's what we're going to say. We're going to say somewhere else because it's not within you anymore. You're looking to someone else to make your situation change for the better, for the good. You're looking to another area. And hey, don't take this the wrong way, but listen, I believe God is within me, and I ain't going to be down here chilling. And your man in the sky got his feet up and he's doing great and fantastic. And he's watching me suffer. And I'm down here just chilling. That's not how it goes. Last time I checked in with God. Last time I checked in, he was supposed to be watching over me at all times of the day, especially if I was at the church place and doing all what's necessary to keep him on my side, right? So why would he leave me stranded on the sidelines like that down here? I'm going through this, that, and the third. He's up there chilling, feet up in heaven, like, yeah, this man CG, you know what I'm saying? He's struggling. No, that's not how he's looking at it. I don't believe he's up there. I don't believe he left, took a vacation, and he never told anybody when he's coming back. Who does that? Who does that? Who does that? Let me know. Y'all, yo, real talk. I never asked y'all to leave me no likes. I never asked y'all to leave me no comments. I want y'all to drop it in the comment section. Who leaves from their you know what I'm saying? Like their home place. And like, yo, I'm out.
I mean,
I'm
with
when I'm gonna come back, but I'm out. Go ahead, Silence.
the understanding that the scripture, if for anyone who goes by the scripture, it says he walks with me, he talks with me. A person who's not here, or a God that's not here, can't walk with you, can't talk with you, because he's not here yet. He's supposed to be coming back, and nobody knows when he's coming back. You know, that's what a lot of people go by. But there would be more benefit and a lot more control over your life if you believe that God exists within yourself and not in a physical place outside of you.
And that's, I don't know if y'all know that. I mean, yo, y'all know I grew up in a little Christian crib and all that. But yo, that was a song I heard regularly, right? And that's the song that comes to mind when you think about it. Listen, I don't deal with the God in the sky. I don't deal with the God over there. He's within, right? Why? Because this is the song. He walks with me. He talks with me. He says I'm one of his own. And if y'all know the rest of the words, I know the rest of the words. But y'all know that that's a song that I've been chanting, you know what I'm saying, for the longest, right? But I never had the clear understanding that I do today of what the song actually really meant, when you think about the words and you think about what I'm telling you, all right, it's very clear as day. If you put the power of God within you, you'll find that he works within you and as you. Okay? God has no personality except for within you and as you. He is nothing until you make him something. The same way how the DEVI, you know who, works, right? Because as long as God is within you, you want to make yourself bigger than what you are. You want to make yourself become what you're saying, what you're telling yourself you are. And that's why and where you're actually able to help drum up that God power. That's what, you know, you might call it. Some people say the light. Some people say, you know, they have many ways of calling it. But what it ends up being is it's just the God power within you, and it's backed up behind the belief. All right. The impression that you make within or on the subconscious is usually going to dictate the result that you reveal in the physical or what you materialize and see. So the idea that we're trying to get you to kind of go in on or understand is the fact that thought is God. I mean, for my entire life, let's keep it real, right? I could tell y'all all my liberal to conservative stories, but now I have conservative stories to like the mind science kind of stories. And what it ends up being is that in itself. For a long time, you know what I'm saying? I committed to this God in the sky, right? And I know y'all looking at me crazy, but I mean, I just now came up out. I just went in depth of what I feel y'all might gain an understanding with. And I'm coming up out of that. And I'm trying to see if y'all with me on this. But again, God is within thought. So if you put your thoughts and let them operate, you'll see how it'll all work for you. Now, I need y'all to understand this. All right, so hold on. It don't matter if y'all looking at me crazy, right? It don't matter. It don't matter. Let me tell you why. It's a good thing. Might be a good thing. I would imagine, I hope y'all are looking at me like, yo, this dude is talking 100. He's making sense. Let's get it. But for those who are doubting and feeling to understand, let me go ahead and put the disclaimer because I didn't put it at the beginning. All right. Man in flesh cannot dictate or tell you physically how God is, when and where he works and operates. It's not how it works. Remember, the process works within you. It works within you. So it's only going to make sense when you say, damn, CG, yo, I wanted that new car, right? Yo, CG, I wanted a new car. So I went to my garage, right? And I purposely didn't park my other car in a set aside space. I set aside some space. I moved all the stuff on the side. I moved everything aside because I knew I was going to get a new whip. So right there and then, that person is already materializing what they want to see and have and become in their mind. They're already putting it in their mind. They're physically taking action, but they're putting it in their mind first. So it's to get you to know and understand that the way that the Lord operates, it's going to be within the mind. And what's actually being seen, the only way for you to have it is to put it in, don't worry about the how, and wait for the end result. All right. So you got to see that when we talk about this God experience and things, it's not something that I could say, yo, there he is, right here. This is him. This is him. This is him. This is it. It's something that you have to go through the experience on your own to say, yo, CG, I manifested that whip and that joint came, bro. The same one I said I was going to get. The same one, the same color, the same joint I had in my head, the same smell I had in my head, the same impression I had on my subconscious mind is the same thing that they're seeing and materializing in their physical place, result. You know what I mean? And that's the idea, is to getting you to
Okay.
understand.
Okay. Now. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Oh no, I'm done. I'm done.
I would say this because Okay. Well, you have a lot of people that sometimes even ask me, well, do you think we manifest the bad things in our life? Do you think that we manifest these bad experiences? Like, who would want something bad to happen to them? And when it comes down to manifesting bad things or what you would look at as bad initially, a lot of times those people question that because we constantly are talking about manifesting what we want as we're conscious of it. Well, when you're manifesting things that you don't want, when you're bringing things into your life that you don't want, a lot of times it's through subconscious thought. So that's why we talked about the power of the subconscious mind earlier on, because that's what a lot of times brings in the whole idea of or experience of what you don't want. Now, to say that you're not responsible or you're not in control of it coming into your life is something that you would have to think about, because when a person when a person thinks about something, or if a person, let's say we're at a restaurant and we don't decide on exactly what it is that we want, and we have that friend that says, hey, just go ahead and try this, I had it last time, it's really good, and somebody just ends up we kind of just end up going with the flow. Do you have the power to do you have the power to say that there was something wrong with your meal and you really didn't like it and you should never go back to that restaurant? Do you have the power to complain at that point? I would, I would, I would guess not, because you you created that experience. You did not decide what it is that you wanted. So whatever you've been given is what you've been given, and you're gonna have to make the best of it. So that's where what would look like a negative experience initially, you would have to, it's in your power to transform that into a positive experience, into saying that it's something good that you do want, that that it's perfect, that you got exactly what you got, even though you may have not decided that that is exactly what you wanted. You're gonna have to come to peace with it, and later on, as time goes on, you'll find yourself getting exactly what you want, because that's what you've been focused on, even in the time of getting what seemed like what you don't want. You said that it is what you wanted. It Yeah, you can pick up from there. I'll bring up something else that kind of goes along with it, but I don't want to get too long-winded on this on that same idea. So you can go in on whatever else you have to say.
Yeah, I mean it's really whatever. If you got more to add, you can add it. What it ends up being at the end of the day is
Well, I'll say this. I'll shorten it up. I'm pretty sure when you're driving a car, when you first learned how to drive, there was this magical experience that happened when you finished making the turn. Let's say the car was going in a different direction. You're learning how to drive. Now, when you turn the wheel and try to make your turn, I know for everyone who has learned how to drive a car, it was a magical experience when the steering wheel corrected itself. When you finish making a turn and the steering wheel just kind of turned into the right direction on its own, it kind of blows your mind away, because when you first learn how to drive, you think, after I make this right turn, I have to now turn the steering wheel myself back straight forward into the direction that the car's going. Well, this is what happens in your mind when you think of a positive thing while going through something negative. Your brain almost auto corrects itself into thinking, okay, he wants positive things. He wants happy things, because he's happy. Even though he's going through something bad or negative, or what may look like negative, he's thinking positively. He wants positive. So we've already turned into the direction, and now your brain is going to auto correct and give you everything that you want in that moment.
so. I mean, what I'm gathering, because I mean, again, like we always do on the show, we go all over the place. We expect y'all to kind of follow us as we gauge what's needed to be said and stuff like that. But silence is giving you a good idea of how the brain and thoughts operate in regards to God being thought, right? He's almost describing the fact that if God is thought, then your thoughts never want to be negative. They never want to go down that path. So they'll always auto correct themselves. Just like when the person steers the steering wheel and they let it go and it goes, whoa, everything went right back in line. So it works the same way when it comes down to the mind, is what he's trying to get you to gain and understand. Is that when you experience something negative, that's when you make the turn, skirt, and then you let go of the steering wheel. Not saying to let go mentally, but let go physically. Don't let go mentally, and then that's when you lost. We on a different page. You need to click away now. If you let go mentally, then you're done. Keep it locked mentally, but let go physically, and watch the steering wheel recorrect itself. So every bad experience that you encounter ends up being an experience that will be automatically recorrected, especially if you observe it to be that way. You'll just take the effect a lot sooner than those who are like, oh man, I messed up this, I messed up that. And then all the way down the line, they finally figure out that, oh, I crashed my whip so I could get this, that, and the third. Okay. That's something that I would have come to the conclusion of the moment the situation sprung onto me. You know what I mean? I would have been like, yo, let's go ahead and observe this in a better light. Let's not reflect on the bad things. Let's not reflect on what this is going against, or the pathway that it's going down. Let's focus on it going up. So that's like more so to the point that Silence is trying to describe is, listen, every time you encounter the problem, that's when you made the left. Get your hand off the steering wheel, let your mind go to work, and let the joint recorrect and operate accordingly to how your mind is programming it. It's not the physical. Stop the physical. All right. Every time y'all deal with these physical things, it's part of the reason and why I'm trying to help you gain an understanding that I already told y'all. If I'm trying to reveal to you who God is, I can't even show you. I can't materialize it. It's a belief. It's something that you have to develop from within. And once you develop it from within, you start to know and understand that it is the way that it could be used and operated throughout your life, and how you want things to become, how you want to have things, how you want to gain things. It's all going to be done through thought. All right. It's not like, let me go to my door right now and somebody says, oh, here you go, here's $1 million. Nah, bro. In most cases, not in most cases, in all cases, someone had that thought already on their mind before the dude rolled up to your door with the racks. He didn't just come out of nowhere and you're like, oh damn, where did this come from? So as good as that might sound, that sounds real good, right? I need y'all to take Silence into consideration, and what he just said is I need to handle that the same way with the negatives. I need to handle that the same way. Y'all seen, oh snap, I manifested 10 mil, bro. I'm sitting on 10 mil. Well, when you have a bad situation fall on you, you got to understand that you manifested that as well. All right. Why? Because you are God of your own experiences. Based on what you put into your mind, what you perceive, what you believe, what you put into operation is what's bound to materialize. So if you're dealing with what I'm telling you, then you're starting to learn and understand that thought is making things happen. All right. Let's not say thought is God. I said that enough, right? Let's say it in a different context. Let's say thoughts making things happen, right? When the man thought about the airplane, damn, I want to get some joint to like be above the clouds. I need something above the clouds. Like I'm down here getting lifted, but I ain't really getting lifted. I'm trying to be up there with wings and all that, engine and fuel burning. Well, the thoughts is what brought that into the light. I mean, you can say God and make it something else. But if we want to hit it on the nitty gritty, what it is, it's the thought. It's the only way by which law operates. Is it. It's just that's it. It's the only way it's gonna work. So I mean, don't tell me anything other than what I'm trying to describe to you right now. Is that the thoughts that you actually have within is what's gonna get you to that next level, not the guy in the sky. And now we could talk about it. Guy in the sky. You know what's known to be a fact? Facts that if you look at the guy in the sky as God, right? Let's say you look at the guy in the sky as God. I look at God as someone working within me, through me, and as me, right? That's how I look at it. Now, we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray a little different. We're gonna pray a little different. It's not gonna be the same. Now, when you're looking at prayers, right? You're looking at like eyes, you know what I'm saying? Like you got the guy in the sky. In most cases, when you're talking to the guy in the sky, you talk in a certain way, shape, or form, right? You talk like, yo, dear God in the sky, can you get me X, Y, and Z? I really need it because this, that, and the third. And you trying to, let me see if I can get silence reconnected. They'll need to connect their mic cam before you add them to the stream. Let me see. Hold up. Hold on. Let me see if I get silence back in. I'm gonna just invite them back. Let me see if I invite them back. Clock up there really be ticking. I never heard it so silent. The joint really ticking. Let me see. Yeah, you could come in, silence. So where I was getting at is basically whenever you dealing with the God in the sky, you're dealing with something else. When you're dealing with the God from within, you have the most power to kind of take over what you're really trying to do. When you pray, I'm gonna put you on mute unless you need that. Yeah, there you go. When you pray, right, the prayers are somewhat different, right? When you're talking to the God in the sky. So, like, let's say I'm in a crazy situation, right? I mean, I can't even describe the situations that I've been in. I've been in all types of situations at work. Let's say I just got into like, you know what I'm saying, something having to do with my car, my whip, got to pick up my kids, this, that, and the third. What you're gonna notice is that if there's a guy in the sky, in comparison to the guy within, utilizing the God within, what you come to find out is that the prayers tend to be a little bit different, a little bit different. What ends up happening is that you'll find is that the power and usage of words is critical in terms of what you want to see, what you want to receive, and what you want to get, right? Because I told you, utilizing things like I am is utilizing the power of God. So someone who is not in the position of utilizing I am and recognizing the God within, he's going to utilize or try to go with the guy in the sky. And going with the guy in the sky changes the way that you ask for things, changes the way that you demand things. With that being said, what that'll do to you is it'll change your prayers. And I promise you right now, God only recognizes what you push forward in terms or in a sense that makes sense, and where you can develop a belief or a trust or an understanding of what's trying to be drummed up. So you have that guy who does not recognize and understand the power of God within. And he says, God, yeah, can you please help me with this? And can you do this for me? And can you do this for me? He's failing to realize that the power is within him. And he's going, yeah, can you do this for me? And I'm praying for this, and I'm hoping that I get this. And I'm just wait around and see if all of this stuff kind of falls on my lap. And what I realized as a Christian, outside of which I still consider myself to be a Christian, but outside of the realm of just that, when I was like, let's say old school Christian, that's how I would pray. I would ask God for things as if he were in the third person, not recognizing him within. And I would find that a lot of my prayers would go unanswered. Oh, yo, all of y'all been in this situation before. All of y'all been here. And you're like, damn, yeah, CG got it spot on. Like, I remember when I asked for that, this, that, and the third, and I thought God was going to get it to me, but I didn't get it. Well, there's a reason why you didn't get it. And you'll come to find that the power of your words is very critical. And by utilizing your words, you'll find that the substance containing what you're trying to say will go out in the air, out in the open with no actual destination if you don't actually push forth the power the way that it operates. You know what I mean? The way that it's done is recognizing the power of I am. If you want to overpower and achieve anything or any situation, the power is within I am. Telling yourself what you are is what you will become. Telling yourself what you want to be is how you become that. Telling yourself what you are is how you become that. So when you ask God for this, that, and the third, recognizing him in the third person, why don't you just tell yourself what you are? That usually brings you closer to what you want to be, have, and become, right? You're looking at God saying, God, can you get me that 10 mil that you gave to Keanu Reeves and all the other actors in Hollywood and this, that, and the third? But instead, you should be telling yourself by utilizing the God power within, through you, and as you should be telling yourself what you are. What are you? What are you telling yourself? Well, I am rich. I am rich means I am what I am becoming, what I will be. So that's the way and idea that I get myself from the next point, from one point to the next. Not by sitting there saying, can you get me that iPad that I've been praying for? I've been kneeling down at the side of the bed every day, every night. Can you get it to me right about now? And that's what it ends up being, is the form of prayer ends up being something that the mind, which is the utilizing the power of God, doesn't necessarily respond to. It doesn't necessarily respond to that. You don't just ask for it in that sense, shape, way, and form. You utilize it and personalize it so it ends up working for you. You end up putting it in a different context and it goes out as unknown substance, unknown who knows what. It just doesn't land on any destination. But as you put it through you, as you, and within you, you end up personalizing it, which makes it become you. And when it becomes you, you don't have to say, God, can you get me that 10 mil? You just say, I am rich. And by you telling yourself what you are is what you slowly become. Very simple and easy concept to gain and understand. The only way that it will take its way, shape, and form is if you utilize it. I don't have a way of physically showing it to you. The way that it looks, I told y'all gonna look at me crazy at the beginning of the stream, right? This is it. This is where and when it actually takes its shape and form. Y'all gotta be looking at me crazy because the only way you can understand and utilize what I'm telling you is if you think back to a time where you exercised it, or you go about exercising it right now, and you'll develop and gain the power and understanding of who God is and how he works in you, through you, and as you, if it actually is an experience in your life. It's just, I mean, I don't expect you to just hear me out with this small piece of information and a few facts and scientific evidence that backs it all up and really say where you stand. I want you to go out, utilize what I'm trying to tell you, gain the experience, and don't tell me that it was a coincidence. Don't tell me that. Personalize it, manifest it, make the impressions through the five senses on your subconscious mind, and that'll be what you usually, not usually, but all times, 100%, what you always gain and see at the end. Um, But that's what it is. It's just understanding that the power of God is within thought. If you utilize your thoughts in the in the right direction, you'll end up gaining the right things. The biggest issue with man is that he never never goes about understanding the world with the right thinking. He just tries to do it all physically, you know. Hey, I'm gonna stop doing this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna stop doing this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it. Stop doing that. Where it's like, what do you think about what you're doing? How do you utilize that and take that into perspective? Silence, you want to add anything? Because I'm about to finish it up. It's getting late, and I gotta go pick up the kids. If you want to add anything, let me know. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sign off. What we'll do is we'll make this a part one, and then I'll get into the part two. Or maybe I have him on mute. Nah, I don't have him on mute. Yeah, Silence, you there? I'm about to sign out. I guess that's he's out. So for the most part, that's where we stand. I understand that God is thought. Why? Because that is the law by which thought operates. All right, it's the way that things actually happen. Looking at God in itself all around, presuming it for what it is and what it will be, what it will always be, is I am. By utilizing I am helps you to understand that whatever you add to I am is what you become. How do you become that? You utilize I am. How do you become that? You add something to uh I am. Yeah, are you back? You want to say anything before we go?
Oh no, no, you can go. You can go ahead. I got to
All
roll
right,
out.
all right. Well, look, what I feel like we did on this one, we touched on just a topic all around that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's not used to it and this, that, and the third. And again, I'm not here to dictate this to you and you make sense of it right now. The only way you ever make sense of this is when the works and the laws and the power of God actually works for you. You need to come back to me and say, bro, CG, I put all what you said into my mind and it all came out to the light. That's when it makes sense. That's when you will actually believe what I'm saying. But it might not be all the way there at the end of this lesson, but it's something that you got to utilize, put in your little back pocket, and take it with you throughout the day. And you'll see as it works for you, you'll slowly develop the understanding and the trust that's needed to get you to slowly start to put the power within you and stop putting it in another place, whatever that place might be. Statue, guy in the sky. You know, some people have the lucky pants. They got the lucky pants that they like to wear because those pants is what gets them good luck. Nah, their mind gets them good luck. And in a lot of cases, people wear the pants that they think gets them good luck, and they end up thinking that they're gonna get good luck, so they get good luck. They get good luck because they think they're going to get it. They think they're going to get it because they're using the same pants that gets them that, according to what they tell themselves. So you could just tell yourself anything, right? You could just tell yourself, I'm going to get good luck, and you're just going to get it. Because if you could put the power within a pair of pants, then damn, you could put the power in your mind. I mean, don't take it from within, put it elsewhere. Come on, bro. Where they do that at? Let me get up off this one, man. Y'all know what it is. We're gonna sign off. I'm gonna be back in. I didn't want to get a join up on Halloween because I had a lot of kid stuff to do, but this one should be up and rocking on Monday, probably around like 8 o'clock. Y'all know what it is. I'm gonna get up off this. Y'all know I'm out. Yeah.